Yesterday's show, lots of good stuff. Talking about, like Darin mentioned, yesterday we were part of the Raceroom Dev, race, and going to talk a little bit about that.
Yep.
And going to talk about how iRacing 16th Street League, an IndyCar league, got to be broadcast on IndyCar.com last night.
Mm-hmm.
So that, WRC 5 is out. Lots of things to talk about there.
Got some driving footage.
I released we released a video this morning about my trip to San Francisco to cover.
You released. That was all
fine.
you, dude.
But we went to San Francisco to cover the Crew Wild Run, which definitely isn't sim racing, but we'll talk about it a bit as well. Assetto Corsa Dream Pack 2 came out, so got some footage of Darin driving a Lamborghini in that. And then Project Cars 5.0 came out, so talk about that. Then we have a sim rig of the week, which is a pretty awesome one. And
James Petty.
James Petty, wanted to get to him too in the iRacing. And then we just got a bunch of things that we've been driving and doing, and including getting my BenQ triple monitors mounted. So gonna take a look at that.
Yep, gonna be fun. So first up, we've got the Raceroom Physics Development stream. It was a live stream that took place yesterday with Daniel Juncadella. Do you think I got that right?
Sounds close enough.
I even did a check, like a pronunciation check, and I think I got it right. So anyway, he's a DTM driver. Seemed like a really cool guy. Said he'd been sim racing since he was like 16 years old.
Yeah, that was neat to hear him. I mean, he was very versed in sim racing lingo. You know, he talked about how he used to race 07 and how he had I think still has a G25. So very very familiar with sim racing.
Yep. Yeah, so that was cool. And you were, so I was in the chat or the Google Hangout, and you were actually doing some driving, which we got here, and you guys can check out his BenQ monitors. This is our first look at the triple setup. John, what are you calling this rig?
Calling it the Bat, because the way he got these monitors wrapped around, it kind of looks like a bat with his wings down flapping. So it's a little corny, but that's what I'm going with.
You can even call it the Bat Cave.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like you're in a cave.
Yeah, my girlfriend was asking. She thought I was calling the Batmobile. She's like, "Are you allowed to do that?" I'm like, we can give it a try.
Why not?
We'll let them come after for copyright.
So anyway, back to the stream. So we got to John. I didn't get a chance to drive because I was in the I was in the Google Hangout talking to Danielle and Daniel and some of the development team. JF was there, who's joined us here in chat. He's the producer at Sector 3. And so what'd you think as we're watching you drive here?
Yeah, overall it felt good. I for the most part, enjoyed what I've done with DTM 2014. This is 2015. And just kind of getting a first impression, it felt pretty similar as I run into
Doing
the
some
side.
bumping.
Yeah. But overall it felt good. And that was my first time at a Hockenheimring running the full GP course, which is kind of amazing, but definitely enjoyed the layout, and wasn't very fast.
Yeah, you were definitely lagging behind a little bit, and you know what? You were getting the hang of the track and the car. This is you basically just jumped in and started driving. So.
I did. I was pretty much running the base setup, but I don't know what it was. I felt like I was driving decent, and I was getting killed out there. I think some of the physics guys were in there racing, and I think they had some setups tuned up pretty well.
Well, there's a guy, Marko Hartikainen, who's been a sim racer for a long time. And I think he's on the development team. Maybe JF can chime in here and chat. But he was at the top. I don't know if you noticed, but he was the fastest guy throughout the day. Okay. Every time you guys started a new session, he was at the top of the grid. So
gotcha.
So yeah, that's like the second or third one of these that Sector 3 has put together, and it was fun to be a part of. Some other media guys, Wim Breeze, who's in chat with us, was there. Mark Puck, who's better known as the Aussie Stig, who works for Race Department, and James Gamer Muscle Westy was in there. Man, he's never off, it seems.
No.
Gamer Muscle. That dude's, if you guys have watched some of his videos, speaking of which, James says he's going to come on the show with us next week. Wim, we want to get you on the show as well. But I talked to James after that session yesterday, and he's going to join us. He just did, as a matter of fact, Wim, you posted it at your site. Gamer Muscle did a piece on multiplayer. Should all titles have multiplayer ranking? Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk. We were going to talk about it on this show, but we didn't want to poach his story.
Yes.
So we thought we'd talk about it next week with him. So anyway, he should be with us next week. But they were all with us yesterday, and it was a lot of fun chatting with those guys. Live stream. Live sim racing.
Yes.
LSR.
Yes.
Laura at Live Sim Racing was producing it, and she did a phenomenal job. So anyway, that was really cool. Next up,
talking about iRacing making its debut on IndyCar.com. This actually got quite a bit of coverage, and this was the 16th Street Racing League, and they've been running forever.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time, and it's a lot of the guys that are hardcore into the IndyCar on iRacing, and I'm not sure if iRacing put this together with IndyCar. I mean, look at it, got the Verizon sponsor going, or the 16th Street Racing League put it together. But I was hoping to see more real-world drivers, but Simon Pagenaud was there.
Yes.
And didn't fare too well.
No, I think he got a black flag right at the start of the race. And let me.
Speaking of, let's fast forward a little bit to some racing.
But no, he didn't fare too well, and they said it in the press release that was put out on IndyCar.com, and also Racer.com is somehow involved, kind of sponsorship-wise, which is a great real-world racing site. And they said that Sage Karam was also going to be it, and Will Power, and those kind of the main guys were also going to be in the league. But yeah, only Simon showed up last night, and I think he got black flagged early, and
he was not one of the fastest guys on the track.
Yeah, which is understandable when you have, this is a pretty tough league. But one thing that was kind of odd, they didn't run cautions last night, it appeared like.
Seems like they were off. And they kept saying in chat, I was there in the live chat, you were there too, but they kept saying in the live chat that, the admins can throw cautions, which I never saw throughout the entire race. But, it's really cool, though, that we're seeing involvement from IndyCar. And they're running this league. I honestly, personally, would have liked to have seen iRacing put something together. Nothing against 16th Street Racing League. I mean, it seems like a quality league, but it would have been great if they would have had people qualifying for a private event, kind of like they do the pro benefit race once a year, and had the pros come in. I grabbed that question. By the way, there was a question from Sean Duhamel. We'll get to that at the end of the show. I know you don't have much time, but I just copied and pasted your question into our Q&A, and we'll get to that later. But anyway, yeah, it's just really cool to see the involvement from IndyCar and the real-world drivers. And that was the second event we saw yesterday with real-world drivers. We saw, I already forgot his name. Simon. No, not Simon.
No, not Simon.
Simon Pagenaud was in the IndyCar. You forgot his name too.
Daniel
Juncadella.
That's right.
So anyway, yeah, it's really cool seeing these guys get involved. And yeah, it's the off season. I would think they have a little bit of extra time where they can, keep fresh.
Yeah, Heather's on board with Simon right now.
Oh yeah.
But especially with IndyCar having such a long off season as they do. But yeah, I like to think, like, even with Daniel, I don't know how old he is, but I'm pretty sure he's young 20s. And as we go,
seemed like it.
As we go, I bet we're going to see more and more of these guys that we race weekly out there on the track who are like teenagers or whatnot. I bet we're going to see their names out there, and before it's like, hey, I raced that guy. And now
Parker Kligerman.
There you go.
Was one. He was in my league for many years, long before he became a professional race car driver, and he's had troubles finding sponsorship and stuff, but he's working for NBC now. Mm-hmm. But that's a guy that I knew as a sim racer before he became a real-world racer. So they ran 150 laps last night at Phoenix. The winner was Tim Holgate. Actually, let's go to the end of the race there. We can maybe just show the...
Sure.
They had a long post-race show. You're going to have to back it up a little bit.
Oh, man. Post-race and everything.
Post-race was long. You're going to have to go back further than that. Yeah, go about right there. Well, even further than that. There we go. It looks like they showed... That's 30... About 20 to go. It's going to take forever. But anyway, Tim Holgate won the race. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I got distracted by chat who's making fun of me about the Cardinals last night. And your team's still alive.
Yeah, and you know what? I wanted to see the Cubs win.
Yeah.
You know, the Cubs haven't gone that far in the playoffs in a long time. The Cardinals have been there a lot. And honestly, I hate the Cardinals. So, and my team was struggling, man. My team got their butts kicked on Monday night.
Yeah.
13-7, Dodgers. But they won last night, going back to LA to finish out the series. And LA's going to take it, hopefully. So, and then it'll be Cubs-Dodgers.
You know, as someone born and raised in St. Louis, this is going to be blasphemy. And even though they beat the Cardinals last night, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing the Cubs go further.
I gotta say, if the Dodgers don't beat the Cubs, or let's say the Dodgers do make it, because they got to get by New York, and New York's been tough.
Yeah.
But, and we're talking baseball, we're gonna finish it off real quick. I wouldn't mind seeing the Cubs go. Now, if it was the Cardinals or the Giants, man, I wouldn't even tune in. So anyway, let's get back to sim racing news. So anyway, some more iRacing news. iRacer James Petty, who's been in a big, what am I looking for?
Community contributor.
That's the words I was looking for. Yeah, he's heavy into painting, and he's done some tutorials on how to paint, and he's had some health issues. He's a cancer survivor. He got cancer like 10 years ago. Had part of his tongue removed, but they've been going through some hard times. His wife posted in the iRacing forums within the last week, and you can see here they've raised $9,000 to help with bills and stuff like that. And if you want to help James out, we contributed Inside Sim Racing here. We contributed $25. But if you want to help James and his family and his wife Wendy, I believe is her name. Yeah, Wendy. We have a link to their GoFundMe in our description here. And it's just great to see the camaraderie in the community. A lot of people probably don't even know James, but as a matter of fact, I used one of his tutorials when we were painting a car for one of the endurance races. And it was there's a program called GIMP, a paint program, and he has a full tutorial on how to use it and import your cars. So
Oh, I remember that. No, because you sent that to me and I watched it.
yeah, that's
right.
James Petty.
Yeah.
So, James, we wish you a quick recovery and hope the best for you and your family. And we just wanted to talk about just the story in general and say just how cool it is that the sim racing community, you know, on one hand can be kind of
Prickly.
yeah, and lots of little feuds going on, but then you see something like this and it really, you know, it makes you realize how tight this community really is. So anyway, we wanted to share that story with you guys, and like we said, we wish the Petty family the best and hope they get through this okay.
Yep.
So what do we got next?
Next up, WRC5 is out-ish. It was released in France, Germany, and Belgium on the 9th, but you can get it worldwide on Steam, and you've got to drive it.
Yes, I drove it this morning on the PS4, as you can see. And this, by the way, I'm just testing things out. And the first thing I'm testing is force feedback or lack thereof. So one of the biggest complaints from the community was lack of wheel support. Xbox One, no wheel support. PS4 has the Thrustmaster T500, T300, T80, and T100. So no Logitech G29 support. No Fanatec Club Sport wheel support. And then, so look, you can see I'm cranked up force feedback to make sure it was on, and nothing. So anyway, you know, you and I were talking about this today, about how some of these titles with, you know, licensing deals. So these guys are licensed by WRC, and this is the first year that this company, what's the name of the company? Do you know?
Oh, I can't pronounce it off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up.
Anyway, it's not Milestone anymore. But it's almost like they got to rush it out to A, hit the holiday season, you know, for Christmas, and B, to keep the license going.
Yes.
You know, for WRC. And, you know, this could be a good title, but honestly, with Dirt Rally out, and I mean, Dirt Rally's not on the PlayStation or the Xbox, but this title is far from finished.
Yes. They at least got the field of view adjustment.
Which is cool. We're showing that here. Yeah,
like that's good.
Yeah, you have 5 different adjustments on the field of view, which was cool. Yeah, Doug 209. No force feedback for you. Talk about a title that really needs wheel support. I mean, I guess since it's on the console, this is obviously a console port, so they're going to first focus on console and then PC. But talk about a title that screams, I need wheel and force feedback support. It's going to be a rally title. 180 degrees of rotation was the default. So it's just...
And you said you were having some frame rate issues too?
Yeah, the frame rates, it didn't seem like it was running at 60 frames. It's a shame that... Anyway, it's honestly pathetic. And I hope that this title they work through this and it becomes a contender, but right now they're kind of on the same pace Milestone was with their versions of WRC.
Yeah, and allegedly, they keep on posting on social media that more wheel support's coming and fixes and...
How about force feedback for the wheels that they are supporting?
Yeah.
On the PC, it's a small list as well. Like, so the G27 is supported, but the G25 is not. I've read some comments in the community that their G25 isn't working. The GT.
The T300 isn't supported on the PC.
Yep.
It is on the PS4, not on the PC. So I don't understand.
I don't either. And we haven't tried it on the PC yet. I had it loaded on my big rig. But it's not supporting the AccuForce wheel, so I didn't even bother trying it there. So anyway, it is out. You guys have tried it. Give us some comments in the chat here, and actually, we'll be able to see some of you guys talking about it right here.
Yeah, that seems to be working.
Yeah.
So pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Even after we closed the window that we had open for it, I believe. Oh, technology.
Is bollocks a bad thing? CC says Dirt Rally is the bollocks. Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
I think in that sense it's a good thing, but I think the word can also be used in bad.
So it's like us saying Dirt Rally is the shit.
Yeah.
So, which is a way of saying it's really cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, what else we got here?
Time to move on to the Crew Wild Run event. Here's some footage from the video that we put out earlier today, and yeah, it's so funny reading YouTube comments after putting out a video like this. Well, first off, they're fun in general, but after a video like this where it's like, oh, this isn't sim racing, and this was crap when it came out last year, because the Wild Run is essentially an expansion to the original game that came out last December.
Right.
But I will say, for an expansion, they redid a lot of stuff. I mean, it looks completely different, and it looks a lot better.
Well, see, and you didn't really get a chance to try the original Crew.
I didn't. I'm basing this off what you...
I enjoyed it.
Did you?
People are saying it was garbage. We got a lot of comments already in your video saying that it was crap and blah, blah. I liked it. It's not a sim racer. I mean, here's proof right here. You're flipping through the air in the monster truck. But it was a fun diversion title that's got a story, and it has wheel support, and I got it dialed in nicely. As a matter of fact, I did a piece on getting it working really nicely on the PC. But here, someone's saying, no, skip the Crew convo. This game is bad. And again, to each his own. Some people may not like it, but so what did you think?
I think I liked it for what it is, which is, like you said, it's a diversion title. And this
Motorcycle action.
And this is something, like I said in the video, this is the first racing title I've played since Gran Turismo 4 on a controller. So that was just, I was struggling with that. But yeah, I think if you're a sim racer...
That looks like Indy.
Yeah.
It's fake Indy?
It's fake Indy.
In the rain.
That's right. But, if you want to, sim racing can get, sometimes can wear on you if you're having some bad races. If you just want to go and sit on your couch and go jump on with some friends, I think it's a good way to go. The solo events, the single player, I was kind of meh. I was a little lukewarm on. I even mentioned it in the video. But once we got racing with a few of the other quote-unquote YouTubers there, we actually...
Wait. What does that mean? Quote-unquote YouTubers.
Well, these guys, one of the guys I hung out with a bit, TC 9700, and he has like 500,000 viewers or subscribers. So
And you asked him what his primary demographic was? 13 years old.
13 years old. So
I wonder if we even have any 13-year-olds in this chat room. If you're under 20, raise your hand in chat. We're just curious because
yeah, that would be interesting.
based on looking at our analytics, our primary demographic is mid-30s. Mm-hmm. So we have some keys to give away.
We do.
Beta keys.
We do have some beta keys to give away.
For the PC, we have 5 beta keys to give away, and you have a question.
Yes, so you'll probably have to go watch the video that I released, but what are the 4 new vehicles that come out with the new Crew Wild Run? So
name those in chat. First 5 people that get it right will get first person. Actually, we're not going to tell you if you get it right because we'll just pick 5 people, and once 5 people someone's Cameron 17, so there's an under 20, and 19. So we got a few. 15, 14. Oh, so we got some few people under 20 here. 33, 51. Wim, what about you, buddy? 44, 51, 40. So you see, that just goes to show you our primary is like in the 30s. But hey, we don't discriminate.
that's right. We welcome all views.
Yeah, all age groups. So, man, nobody is posting. Maybe we're on a little bit of delay, but so anyway, tell us what are the 5 vehicles or 4 vehicles in the Crew, if you want a beta code, for the PC, by the way, and that opens up tomorrow, doesn't it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So let's move on, and we'll circle back there since there's a natural...
Well, we got to keep up with chat though, so we can see if somebody wins. Everybody's still posting their ages. Yeah, right, Alan Beaton, 15, my ass. You need to add like 30 to that, buddy. Oh, wait, hold on. We've got somebody.
Okay. Chris.
No, don't say his name because then everybody's just going to copy him. So I'm gonna copy him. I'm gonna copy his name down so we can get him a beta key.
And now we'll see how quick everyone else is.
Yeah, you did say his first name. Corvette Dragster.
There was a Corvette Dragster, which I was not
No, we got another
in love
one.
with.
What the heck? Just copy the answers, guys. We want to give away these keys.
Hey.
We got two winners.
You know, Time Runner 414 says I look like I'm 18, which is true because I must be. Because when I go to stores and I ask for service or someone's working there, they always be like, "Hey, what's up, man? Can I help you?" I never get like, "Hello, sir." It's always like, "What's up?"
Yeah, I still get carded.
Do you?
No. You know what? I had a baby face for a long time though. Got a third winner. And so into my 30s, I was getting carded still. But needless to say, I don't now with my gray hair and wrinkles. Very rare that I get carded now. We got a few more.
Yeah, we got a
Some
couple
people are
there.
giving specific car.
Yeah, you don't need to give specific manufacturer card name. It's a little more general
We're done.
category.
We got our 5 winners.
We got our 5? Okay. Perfect.
So our 5 winners are Chris Shug, Eduardo Luke, Ack, and MacRacer 49. So
That was 4 people.
that's 4?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Somebody else won, but I didn't get his name. Shoot, we're gonna have to go back here.
We must go back and find them.
Here, I'll find him. Why don't we get to the next story here?
Okay.
I got it here. It's Zahari Petkov.
Okay, next story.
Hold on, before we go. Email me, Darin at isrtv.com. I'll put my my email address in chat here. And I did get bombarded last time I did this, but whatever. Email me, you 5, Chris Shug, Eduardo Luki, Zahari Petkov, Ack, and MacRacer 49. Email me and we'll get you those 5 codes. So congrats, guys. Thanks for participating. And you're going to get beta keys to the Crew Wild Run.
Yeah, so hopefully that's fun. If I have some time, I'll jump on and join you at some point.
John's monitor review, by the way, Andrew, is going to be coming soon. He hasn't had a lot of time. We're going to talk about it.
We're gonna get to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be a review, but we're going to talk about some stuff in regards to that. So let's move on. More news. Assetto Corsa.
More news. Assetto Corsa Dream Pack 2 came out last Thursday. We talked about it pretty extensively last Wednesday, but you got a chance to try it out. So did I. But what did you think?
I liked it. I thought I'm driving the Lamborghini Huracan. Probably mispronounced that, but at Barcelona or Catalunya, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed driving that car. Driving it with the AccuForce here, and we're going to talk later about the Ricmotech load cell mod. I'm driving it with that as well. I don't have any footage of me actually using it, but I have footage, and we'll show that in a little bit of me assembling it. We'll talk about that. But it was a fun car. It was a good combo. Great sound. It felt good. Force feedback was strong. So lots of cool cars in this new pack, and another track as well. What did you think?
Yeah, this was the only new car I tried out, and actually I'm a little on the fence on it. Before I was pretty much got the monitor set up, and then I jumped in and I drove the 599, and we posted pictures of that up on social media. And I really liked how that felt. Then I jumped in this car, and I don't know if I need to look at my degree of rotation settings, but it was just, I was having a bit of a time controlling it, and it felt a little lighter. I didn't quite like the feel as much as the 599 force feedback wise.
We need to get you in the AccuForce.
So, well, that could be that too. So
it felt great for me.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a little.
And I didn't do any adjustments since the last time we drove.
Yeah, and also one thing I thought I read, and I forgot to check this out. I heard like maybe they changed some things in the force feedback settings. Like maybe they added another slider.
Oh, okay.
So I got to get in there and kind of, I got to spend some more time with it. But no, I mean overall, it seems like it's been fairly well received from the community. And
it's pronounced Huracan. Huracan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Huracan.
Huracan. Well, I know it's an Italian or Spanish bull, because
it's Lamborghini, isn't it?
Well, it's a Lamborghini.
But isn't anyway.
Okay, well, back from pronunciation hour. Speaking of updates, now let's roll into Project Cars. Had their 5.0 update release last Thursday, Friday-ish, if I remember. And yeah, this one was a little bit of a step back, in my opinion, when it comes to updates. Because they had 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. They don't believe in the decimal places, I guess. And
it's 5.0.
That's right. So, but 4.0 has some new features and changed some user interface settings around, heads-up display stuff. And but 5.0 looks mostly to be a fix to some issues that came out with the Aston Martin car pack that we talked about last week. So, but yeah, let's see. Fixes of that. They also added some fixes for the Logitech G920 for that to show up properly, and better
Oculus Rift support.
Better Oculus Rift support, and better AI behavior. Which that almost has to be a joke that they put about better AI behavior, because it's in every single Assetto Corsa update. It's in every Project Cars update, like Dirt Rally with the Rallycross. I feel like everyone is like, AI is better.
Well, and I've talked about this. AI has got to be one of the toughest things to program, because you're basically programming, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
So, oh, by the way, are we in stereo today? We think we've fixed that or gone back, and if we haven't, it's just going to stay this way. But we think we've fixed the stereo mix. Should be mono. You should be able to hear us both in both speakers. Nobody's commented on it today.
I like to think we're okay.
Yeah, besides the music at the top of the show.
Oh,
what
man.
the heck happened there? And what's weird? It only came up when we were live.
Yes, it wasn't
we were
there
watching,
before.
Yeah, we were watching. So anyway, we apologize for that mess up at the beginning. So anyway, it is cool to see that they keep updating Project Cars. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see better triple screen support.
Yes.
I'm sure that's not a priority to them, but it's we'd like to see it. Especially compared to iRacing and Assetto Corsa.
And what's surprising too is they've gotten really big, tied in with ESL, the gaming league,
mm-hmm.
and I would think to show off the game in the best light, that they want to be showing it off with triple screen setups. You know, have something with, you know, what I got right now, the BenQ.
Yeah.
To really show it off. So I kind of can't believe that hasn't been updated yet.
Me too. Next up, Sim Rig of the Week. This thing is a beast.
Whoops.
And
Let's start
let's start with the build. And this is Matthias Vanderplatz. And hopefully I got that right. He's from, believe he's from Holland. And he posted these pictures of the initial build in our forum back about a year ago. And they've been working on it, so basically a year. And Matthias's brother, Robert, is basically the guy that built this. And he's got more than 40 hours into it they worked on it during his free time. And he works at a metal shop, I believe. And actually, there was a comment. You can hear Charlie. You guys hear Charlie? This rig is made of free residual material at his company. So basically, it was just leftover metal that they used for this rig. And man, this thing is sweet looking. Now let's go to
the studio shots.
Yeah, they even set this thing up in a studio, and supposedly they got about 1,200 euro, I believe. Yeah, 1,200 euro into building this with a seat, gear, cables, paint job, that kind of stuff. They say it's very heavy.
It looks very heavy.
One person can carry the stripped frame. That's a pretty big person, because that frame looks, I mean, I'm a pretty big guy, and I'm not weak, but I'm sure I could lift it. But
you just might be going to the chiropractor after.
Yeah, well, and how would I balance it? I mean, I'm not going to just, cradle it in my arms.
Wear it on your head, on your shoulders.
So, funny, some comments. Get him, Charlie. Charlie needs his own slot for the program. Let's go back to news desk here. So when Charlie grows up a little bit, he's coming up on 7 months. We may be able to have him sitting here with us. Charlie's a little crazy, isn't he?
Charlie has his good days and bad days.
He does. So maybe we'll put some pictures up of Charlie in one of our next shows. But anyway, back to that frame. That thing is sweet, and this is basically DIY. As you saw the pictures of them building it, they came up with the design themselves. I'm guessing, and he didn't tell me this, that they're going to be looking to manufacture this, because why would they do these studio shots?
Yeah, definitely looks like they're going down that route, which would be something. I mean, it looks fantastic. I worry about shipping rates.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, shipping would be a lot of money. So anyway, yeah, I'd like to thank Matthias for sharing his rig with us. See if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. They said they wanted to build something that's very heavy and stable, that's not going to move an inch during use.
I'm curious about those pedals with that single stand, if that gets any flex. I mean,
That's a good question.
It might be heavy duty enough, but having two of those uprights instead of one would be better. But
so you're thinking there may be some. I mean, based on how they built it, you're worried about.
Yeah, I'm worried about, especially if you have a really heavy duty brake pedal, that if you push it, you could get some tilt over time.
Yeah. So anyway, again, thanks Matthias for sharing your rig with us, and yeah, pretty cool.
Absolutely.
You guys got a rig you want to share with us? Put it on our forums, and then we need pictures. I was hoping to get some video, and he doesn't have any video of it yet. I don't even know if he's seriously driven with it yet.
Yeah, I'd love to see some video.
He wasn't able to share that with us, but if you have a rig that you want to share with us, put it on our forums, isrtv.com/forums. We have a whole section devoted to sim rigs and chassis. We have a DIY section where you can put your plans. So anyway, very cool. So next up, what did we drive this week?
Yeah, I'm going to kick off with some video of, you working on that Ricmotech.
Yeah, so this is some footage of me installing the Ricmotech load cell, race car feel load cell brake. So these are all the parts that come with it. It comes with these two urethane bushings you're seeing here, which gives you different different stiffness. There's the actual load cell. And these instructions that you see here were very detailed. It tells you exactly what tools you need. You have to take apart the pedals, which now you're seeing me strip down here. And this thing, when I first put it together, when I was first looking at it, I was like, man, I don't know if this is going to offer enough throw. And I think that was one of your first comments once I got it installed.
Yeah, it doesn't seem, at least like to the touch with your hand, like it has much throw.
So there's the bushing going in and the spring. So basically, it's integrated into the pedal set. You got to take some of the original parts out. There's another shot from behind showing you there's the cable routing that you got to do. And basically, you plug the pedals into that plug, and then you got a new cable that goes into the back of the wheel. And then you put everything back together, and you're ready to go. So actually, wait here a second. You're going to see me pushing on the pedal. So that's the amount of throw you get. But again, it's a load cell, so it's registering your.
Oh, was that it for that video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring us back, John.
Oh man. John's
all over the place. Here we go. So anyway, I like it. You got to drive it briefly.
Yes. Yeah, I warmed up to it. Like I said, at first it was kind of like there isn't a lot of throw here. I was worried about that, but once you're actually using your foot and having to apply pressure, it felt good. Ran some laps in iRacing, and yeah, it felt really good.
We also drove this car.
Now, this was exciting.
This is probably one of my all-time favorite sim cars. This is Game Stock Car Extreme. And this is the 88 Formula car, which is basically the McLaren Honda that Ayrton Senna drove. And we're at the 88 version of Montreal. I believe it's the 88 Formula 1 car. But anyway, we both drove this. You had never driven this car.
I hadn't.
We don't have any footage of this. What did you think of this car?
It was a lot of fun. Like it was just fun. Like, that's really the only word I have for it. And what was nice too is it felt really good physics-wise, because you could definitely I know a couple times we both spun trying to really light up the tires and get out some of the slow corners, but if you drove it with respect, like it wasn't sliding around, like it felt stuck at the low speed corners. So yeah, no, really impressed. And I even kind of see in the video here had like a head lean setting going on. Which
yeah, I don't even know if there's a setting that you can adjust. We were looking for it, but
yeah, that was something new. Which at first I was this is kind of weird, and then I drove it more, and I actually kind of liked it. I was tilting my head with it, so it was doing the trick for me. And then also that was my first time driving the historic Montreal, and that place is fast.
Fast, yeah, it is. And there's that chicane, that wide open chicane that's normally on the back straight.
Yeah.
That we took a little getting used to, but that is a fun combo. So anyway, we're driving the Ricmotech pedals here, and I'm working on my AccuForce review, so I was trying out Game Stock Car in that. Not even using any GameForce feedback, using only foundation feedback. So if you have an AccuForce, you know what I'm talking about. But what an awesome combo.
Yes.
And that pedal set felt awesome. Speaking of which, I have those pedals plugged into the AccuForce. And the guys at Sim Experience sent me an adapter plug. There's a port on the control box, the AccuForce control box. And if you have a plug that can be converted, you can plug in T500 pedals. So I've got that plugged directly into the AccuForce, and it just felt great. So my review of that's probably going to hopefully be up by the end of the week. I've got most of it written. I've pretty much tried it with just about everything. When I was driving the Oricon. When I was driving that earlier, I was using the load cell. So yeah, JF, you need to try that. That is probably one of the best sim cars of all time.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yep. So what did you do?
What I did with my weekend was get the BenQ monitors mounted. So here was my setup pre-new monitors, and have a slideshow here kind of looking at the build process.
That I helped with too. I spent some time on it this weekend too.
Yeah, you were definitely very helpful, especially in coming up with idea. And there it is with the new monitor mounted, and you see just how much wider it is, and how it doesn't really make my triple arms work out well. So then we thought about putting 80/20 and extending those arms out. And then I went and grabbed one of the other monitors, and I put it up on a table and went, kind of decided what angle I wanted to be at. And at that point, it's kind of when I realized those arm extensions weren't going to be at the angle I want. I really wanted to pull the monitors in tight. So then we came up with this idea with the 80/20 and went back and forth, had it mounted on the top side, then the bottom side. It was all kind of getting the right setup. And there's the first monitor hooked up, and this was before any of the bolts were tightened, so you could see it kind of slacking a lot. And that was something that we battled against quite a bit. And here it is with 3 of the monitors, and again, I think the left one was still mounted at the high position. I still had to adjust. But,
ouch!
And then I drew blood because...
John got an owie. I see blood on one of the... Is that blood on the profile piece below, too?
Yeah. So I had to mount... The 80/20 piece had to get super tight against the mounts that came with BenQ, and there wasn't a lot of room to work with.
So, Time Runner saying, let's rally for Darin to get 3 Asus PG279Qs, 165 hertz monitors.
I'm not against...
Are those curved, by the way? Or are they just 165 hertz? So that'd be interesting to check those out. Yeah, Darin needs some new monitors. Darin's got serious monitor envy now. And
here's some pictures of the 80/20 extensions I had attached to the feet of the Assetto Revolution wheel stand that we were using. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was the build, and I'll just pull up the video, kind of what we were watching earlier, of me driving. But
so what's your overall? Now we are running this at 60 hertz. Or you're running this at 60 hertz right now.
Correct.
And why don't we tell them the reason for this?
Yeah, right now.
It's capable of 144.
It's capable of 144, and when I had it in single screen mode, which I showed off a bit an episode or 2 ago, it was running at 144 hertz. But with 3 of these, my graphics card is an R9 285, and I have 2 DisplayPort mini connections, an HDMI, and 2 DVIs. Well, essentially to power 3 of these, you got to have 3 DisplayPorts, whether it's mini or regular size, because these monitors don't even have DVI connections. They have DisplayPort, mini DisplayPort, HDMI,
and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah, it only has those 3 connections.
And this HDMI will allow you to run 120 hertz
at 1920.
At 1920 by 1080.
Yeah.
Which does not fill the whole screen. The native resolution on these screens is 2560 by 1080. So you need to run that full resolution at 144 hertz. It needs to go through a DisplayPort.
Yeah, but yeah. So right now, only running at 60, which working on trying to get a new graphics card that can handle that has 3 DisplayPorts, which means it's going to be one of the modern graphics cards.
Or you need to get another matching card and run in Crossfire.
Or that. So yeah, working on trying to fix that, because definitely want to show these off in the best light possible. And also, I mean, I got used to that 144 hertz. Going back to 60 is brutal.
Well, and I run at 120 on my setup.
So you know.
Yeah.
And it's and that's the kind of crazy thing. A lot of the 4K monitors these days, they're only at 60 hertz. So you have this beautiful resolution, and then you move something, and you get tearing.
Yep.
And it ruins it.
Well, and then you see it when you're driving. You just see, not really stuttering. It just doesn't It's just not as smooth.
It's not as smooth.
It's not as fluid.
Correct.
So it definitely makes a huge difference. So yeah, we need to figure out something for John as far as video card goes. My video card, I have a 780. That would not work. It's only got 1 DisplayPort, 2 DVIs. Would have been nice to see DVI ports on those monitors.
Yes.
I think the only real complaints we have with those monitors is no DVI ports, and you need to do something custom for the mounts, as you guys saw there.
Yeah. Mounting these, if you aren't in a play shed like this with a bunch of parts and pieces laying around, is definitely a bit of a challenge.
Yep.
But commenting as far as how they feel, I posted the pictures up on Facebook and Twitter and got a lot of comments about field of view, and I'm convinced that this is one of the probably best field of views out there, and I know you're pretty blown away by it.
Yeah, well, because you're talking about the angle.
Yeah, the angle and also well, people are saying like, well, what a waste because like my head's here and the monitors extend a little further back, but that's all part of being in the car. Having more than 180 degrees puts you in the car.
Yeah, I've never felt like I've been in a car the way I do when I'm sitting in the bat, because it really you feel like you're in a cockpit.
Yes.
You know, it does wrap around you, and you really get a better sense of speed with everything coming by. And sure, I mean, some of that may be wasted visually.
Well, what's kind of fun, in a couple of cars, they have, like the NASCAR has a big headrest. And I jumped in that on iRacing, and there that headrest was. So I couldn't see. And I'm like, that's realistic. That's what I want. So, and also, the curves make it a big difference. If those were flat screens, the curve brings out the corner of the screens probably about that much closer. So then you go and then you put the curved side screens, and that gets the whole thing pushed further back. If they were flat panels, they wouldn't be as far back, and also then they'd be further away. Yep. But because of that curve, I got them coming into nearly straight at the very edge of them, at the back.
I think Avenja, I don't know if he's still here, he's got a 180-degree setup.
Yeah, I just realized I'm miming off camera. So there we go.
Yeah, he just commented, yeah, that's why I run my monitors at 180 degrees. And now I know why you do too, because it makes a huge difference. So we had a couple questions at the top of the show. Stephen Anthony said, show us the triples. We just did. Watched a review and it stated that the HDMI input could only be in HDMI 1, which doesn't allow for 120 frames per second. Is that true? Yes. Well, you can, but at 1920 1080.
Yes.
So you can't get the full 2560 by 1080 through an HDMI port.
Yeah, and I tried a 1920 when it allowed me, when I stretched the screen, and it's okay. Honestly, it was okay with Forza 6. That wasn't too big of a deal, but I don't know. Much rather be in 2560.
So obviously we're just running on one screen.
Yes, yes.
And then he said something about NCI XS review. So did you check that out?
Yeah, there was a review on NCIXS.com, I believe, which is kind of a Newegg type site. And it was a positive review, so I'm not really sure. I didn't really catch anything new there.
Our review is probably going to be positive. I don't see it being...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's the cons are pretty minor, and then, well, you know, you also have to be able to afford it.
So we just now we're going to get into question and answers, and while we're still on the subject of these monitors, Michael Jardim, and we'll probably see it on the screen here too, just asked, triple screens or wait for VR? Now, some people, like one of the guys, and I don't know if it wasn't Avenja. It was Mark Puck from Race Department, swears by the Oculus.
There are people out there who do.
That just can't go back to monitors. I personally could not go to Oculus because it's just not detailed enough for me. It's too pixelized, and I just can't see as far down the track as I want to. So I still prefer monitors until the resolution gets better on the the Oculus and the other options out there. I'm sticking with triples, especially when we can do something like the bat.
Yeah, I've always been, since the Oculus was announced, I've always been really, really curious. And I was actually kind of disappointed after watching your review, because I was really hopeful for it, that this is the future is now. And then, with the whole resolution and whatnot. So, but now that I have this, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel as much like I really need an Oculus. And also, the Oculus still has some things that got to get worked through. The whole, you can't see the environment around you. So it has to have some kind of passive thing, and even just kind of a security thing. It's kind of odd. You're in your own little world. You don't know what's going on around you.
I guess for general, like, first-person shooter gaming, where you don't need to see your mouse or keyboard,
it's probably fine.
Yeah, but when you're sim racing and you got button boxes and stuff like that, it is nice to be able to see them. And sure, you can run without them, but like if you had a tablet that you were using for your buttons, that obviously you're not going to be able to, feel around to find your buttons. A lot of people have displays. You're not going to be able to use a secondary display, which if you have the Oculus, you can just look down at the dash.
Yes.
So now we're like we said, we're on to Q&A and some other questions we had. Cooper's Spec C Also at the top of the show asked, please comment on the shocking state of the Logitech G920 Windows driver. Now, we didn't review that portion of the G920 initially because
it wasn't out.
Well, it was. It was working, but it wasn't working.
Yes.
A lot of titles were not supported, and then they supposedly came out with an update that we haven't tried yet, but based on that comment that Cooper's Spec C posted, it's probably still not there. So it's a shame. That's a quality wheel, and people are buying it to run on the Xbox One and the PC, and people are obviously struggling with it on the PC. So why don't you take a question?
Eric Keeble asked, think there's any chance we'll see a more affordable Xbox One, PlayStation 4 wheelbase option from Fanatec? Maybe something that'd be more competitive in price to Thrustmaster TX and T300. Haven't heard anything of them going to more of an entry level, kind of like what they used to have. Since when Fanatec started, those 911 rims were about, what, 500? Are they a little more in that category?
No, they were. I think a full package with pedals and everything was about between $300 and $500. So,
Gotcha.
and it even came with a shifter.
Yeah.
Actually, they came as a whole kit. You got the bass pedals, which were along the lines
of the Thrustmaster bass pedals.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got the whole package for under $400, I believe. So good question. I have not heard anything from them directly, but I think they are. I know they've been adding more compatibility to titles on the new consoles. So that's a great question.
It'd be nice. I mean, I think right now, Thrustmaster and Logitech they eat up a good amount of the market there at that price point. So it'd be good to see another competitor there. David
and Dan, I got your question. We'll get to that in a second. Another one from before the show, the Shawminator. Hi, J&D. This is for Q&A. Do you guys do any of your own skinning / painting? If so, is it a topic you would consider covering? You've done a little bit, and I used to do a lot back in the NASCAR 2 / NASCAR 3 days. But it's been a long time, and like I mentioned at the top of the show about James Petty, I did a little bit when we were prepping for an endurance race, but neither of us are really painters. We can do the basics.
Yeah, I kind of always, for a little while there, I got into it, and I felt like I was always kind of cheating at it. I never learned how to properly do it. I would just do little workarounds. That was way more labor intensive to get a paint that I wanted. But yeah, I haven't painted anything in probably about 3 years. So I do enjoy it. It's just time consuming. So
hello, Brazil. Dennis Nogueira, whatever. I'm sorry. Wanted to say hi to Brazil. Hello, Brazil. Thanks for watching. Sean Duhamel. I got another question here. Looks like another great show. Can you talk about the pedal sets you use? Want to upgrade from old G27, looking higher end with the T300 RS. So I'm using those Ricmotech pedals right now, which would work with the T300. You need those work with the T3PA Pros and the T500s with any Thrustmaster current base. So even the T150s it should work with.
Okay.
But we were running the Club Sport pedals. I was running that before that, the version 2, version 3 as well. We've run briefly. We've got to do some upgrades to them. They sent us some parts. John's running T3PAs. We ran the Derek Spear Designs pedals. So there's a lot of options out there. What do we prefer? I like the T500 pedals. They're, especially with that Ricmotech load cell. I like the Club Sports. Those are quality pedals. Do you have a favorite? You haven't really tried that many.
I haven't really tried that many, to be honest. Overall, fairly happy with the T3PA pedals, or I am happy. So I'm not really out there rushing to try to get something else. I'm curious to see what the Fanatec V3s feel like. Spent a little time with that on the Xbox One. Looking to get that on the PC and see what that's like. And also, we also have to add the load cell. Is that what we got, the optional load cell with those?
For which one?
The V3 Fanatics.
No, the damper kits.
Damper kits, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, so, yeah, it'll be interesting to try that out and see what those are like.
So you take the next question, John.
Patman OC asks, did you guys watch the Bathurst 1000, or are you planning on taking part in iRacing one this weekend? So I watched pretty much like the entire race. I was down here working on getting the monitor all set up, and I had it on through a streaming service.
Shame on you. That's the only way we could watch it, though.
Yeah, well, I guess you can pay for the official stream from the series, but I guess it was running terribly and people couldn't. It wasn't watchable. So I don't feel as bad. But anyway, so I watched pretty much the entire race. Awesome race. That race is amazing.
Some of those wrecks were hellacious.
Big wrecks. Yeah. What's up with the VA supercars and lack of arm and leg protection for the drivers? The crash in qualifying with the Pepsi Max driver that I know one of you guys will correct me with, him breaking his leg on the shifter, and it's like they need to get like a NASCAR style carbon fiber seat in there where you have padding, you have carbon fiber on the outside of your legs and between your legs so you can't bust your knees together in a crash. And also there's supports here to keep your shoulder in place so your arms don't swing around. And he broke his leg and his wrist in something that I doubt a NASCAR driver would have been injured in. So that's ridiculous. So need to work on those seats VA supercars. But after that tangent, we are still planning, I believe, to run the Bathurst 1000 this weekend.
Are we?
I want to.
I don't think we're going to get 1,000 in.
Well, it's funny. I watched.
I would like to too.
Yeah, and we were talking about shooting kind of a bit of a documentary style, shooting this as we practice during the week, which I still want to do, but we haven't started practicing, so we need to. I was planning on firing up tonight and starting to work on a setup and all that, but we'll see. Hoping to, not going to make any promises because things come up, but that is going to be a tough race.
Yeah, we want to. Next question. David and Dan asks, inside slim racing. I guess we're inside slim racing.
I'll take it.
Just messing with you, Dan. David and Dan. What games do you guys play? What games do you play? You're not really much of a gamer outside of sim racing, are you?
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really played any games since college, and that was all Halo and Call of Duty, pretty much shooters with my roommates. But yeah, I pretty much only do sim racing. And
I like a lot of stuff. I'm looking forward to Uncharted coming out. Uncharted 4. Played Grand Theft Auto 5, finished that. What's one that I liked a lot? I can't think of the name of it right now. But anyway, yeah, I play a bunch of new stuff on either the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. So yeah, I am a gamer outside of sim racing. It just really depends on what's Far Cry. I have Far Cry 4. I've been playing that a little bit. That's a pretty deep game and open world, lots to do there. So yeah, I am a gamer outside of sim racing. Used to do a lot of Counter-Strike back in the day when it first came out with the original Half-Life software. Star Wars Battlefront I wanted to check out. So Time Runner just mentioned that. So anyway, yeah, John's not much of a gamer. I am. My wife loves watching me play some of these games too. So anyway, next up, John.
Here's a question right up your alley. T500, STH, I don't know what he's trying to spell out there. Ask, how much does Ricmotech cost?
T500 RS, TH8 RS.
Oh, wow. That's some good brand
yeah.
following there.
169 for the Ricmotech load cell. So that answers your question. Somebody had already answered it too, but I figured I wanted to answer it though on the show. Andre Silva, any news about the Thrustmaster T150? News as far as when it's supposed to be released. I think it's supposed to be out any day. Available any day.
I thought it was supposed to be out, but last time I checked, it wasn't available. So I'm going to pull it up real quick here to double check.
We should do some live browsing like we did last week.
Oh, that would be nice, but
John, you're getting lazy. Come on.
I'm getting lazy. Yeah, right now it's in stock, available for $199.99 online. I'm sure it's available at Ricmotech.com.
Ricmotech, I think he's gonna have them in stock. He doesn't have them yet, but I just talked to him in the last couple days. His G27 pedal adapter works with those pedals too.
Okay, perfect. So
which makes sense. Any of the the ecosystem pedals work with that wheel.
Yeah. So if you're looking at purchasing something online, go check out Ricmotech.com, since they're a supporter of sim racing and
an official Thrustmaster distributor, and they add value to your purchase.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Check them out for your Thrustmaster future purchase. David Osbalds, whatever. Someone said let's come up with some funky names so it makes it difficult
Already
for guys
there
to pronounce. And actually, he got some comments. Oh no, I didn't copy that one. Oh, somebody had said that there's lots of wheels, but not many games out to drive them with, which
gotcha.
I thought was kind of off. Anyway, he asked, Corsa didn't come with much content. Do you think it's fair to charge so much for little extra content?
Well, let's see. I think it was $10, I believe, the new Dream Pack.
Or was it $7.99? Or was that the
that was Project Cars?
Cars?
But I'd have to double check. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I will say, I don't like when Dream Pack 1 came out. I think that was like $10 or so, and I thought that was actually a pretty good deal, because I mean, you were getting the Nordschleife and you were getting I think they might have had 10 cars in that pack, and they were really good cars overall. I will say I don't think this Dream Pack was as strong, so maybe there could be a little bit of a case of maybe overpriced, but I mean, I don't know. I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not bad. I mean, most people got Assetto Corsa for what, like $25, $30 when it was early access, and I think now it even doesn't sell for it's maybe like $50. So considering how much you get and how much enjoyment you get, maybe spending a little more on some bonus content isn't the end of the world. And also, you don't necessarily even get it. I know for me personally, I think really the Audi and the Lamborghini GT3 cars were the only cars that like really kind of struck my interest. So, you trying to find price?
Yeah, and I actually got it here live. Let's see if it's on our. Did you put it in our blog, John?
If it's not in there, the link's at least in there to it. Oh wait, at the very bottom, go up. Nope, I don't have it there.
Shame on you, John. Hey, I did some live browsing again. How about that?
You did.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
$7.99.
Oh, so it is $7.99. Okay, so I think that's pretty fair. Also, you also get the Glickenhaus in that pack, which I need to try that out.
Moving the screen all over the place.
Yeah, easy there. So yeah, I don't think it's too bad. $8 isn't the end of the world.
Yep. How about that live browsing there for you guys? Andrew Whitehead asks, Alcantara rims, gloves or not?
Oh yeah, I saw that question. I haven't been running gloves. I do want to go buy some gloves, so I've been meaning to do that. But so far, it seems to be holding up pretty well. I think running the Raceroom event the other day, that was probably the longest sustained driving I've had on it without gloves. Even when I was doing the review or doing some driving for the review, you have some gloves, and I stole your gloves.
You did?
I did steal your gloves.
Those are bike gloves.
I know, they were gross. So, so I was wearing your gloves because I didn't want it to wear it down before we did some of the up close shots for the review. But no, I haven't been wearing gloves, and overall it seems to be holding up pretty well so far. But yeah, gloves are going to make it last longer.
Give you a little bit better grip too on the Alcantara. I noticed that I was driving something the other day, and it was heavy force feedback, and I was driving with an Alcantara rim on the AccuForce, and I was like, man, I need some more grip, and I got those gloves out.
Yeah.
And it was specifically because of that.
Yeah.
So.
And also, one thing I like with those gloves, and like I can have a death grip, and having those gloves on, it gave a little more padding, and it felt nicer. So, yeah.
Time Runner says, save your wheel, buy some gloves.
Yeah, I need to go buy some gloves. I mean, even there's some, $50 you can get some karting gloves that are.
Where are my gloves? Good. Are they over there?
No, I think they're over there.
So DH Paradox said use some fingerless cycling gloves. That's exactly what mine were.
Yep.
So CC said get gamer muscle on more regular. I'm not sure what the more regular means, but yeah, I don't know if you caught the top of the show. Gamer muscle is probably going to be on next week's show.
Mm-hmm.
maybe live. We're going to try to work it out to where we don't have that delay problem that we had with Andreas. But anyway, we're going to try to work that out. If it's not live, we'll have them on pre-recorded. Live would be cool because then we could take questions for Gamer Bus.
Yeah, we like to do live.
James Westy.
We just got to make sure it all works.
Yep. Next up, John, you got some more questions?
Yeah.
We're getting long on time, so we're going to take a few more and then wrap it up.
Yeah, Jim Chilvers asked a while ago, any good touring car PC sims out there? I think if you're looking at touring cars, probably Raceroom has your best selection of them at the moment.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything. You know, they're supposed to become iRacing, and that kind of fell through. And Assetto Corsa, not really there. Project Cars may have one off the top of my head. But yeah, I think if you want touring cars, I think Raceroom is your best bet. Because Raceroom also has a lot of the tracks they run at, which is nice. I know we did a show, one of the first shows, I did a little story about different tracks and different sims. And Raceroom has a lot of unique tracks that no other sims have, and a lot of them have touring cars running on them.
Yep.
So I would check that out.
So I got a question for you guys. What'd you think about the live chat down here? Should we keep it for next week? I think what it really works for is for watching it on demand.
Yes.
Because then you can see what was going on in chat and what we're responding to.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can see why sometimes we're laughing too. So anyway, what do you guys think about the live chat?
I have a comment or a question to the community too, specifically to Chris Shug, right? Who says, I sit in front of a 65-inch curved 4K screen. Feels great. So I wonder, is there any latency there? Is there any delay happening with that screen?
And is it 60 hertz?
And
60 frames a second can look pretty good.
Yeah.
I think where we really see it not being as fluid is on the PC.
Yeah.
On the console, maybe on the PC we need to lock it at 60, versus running it uncapped. Live chat box is cool.
Perfect.
Darin and John, what is your favorite race sim overall? Andrew Broom.
I would say iRacing overall. I think it's just one I'm most comfortable with, and I think it's the most mature out there since it's been around since 2008.
So one of the comments, it's a little blurry, hidden metal, unless it's full screen. So we more have it there for people watching it on demand because I can see the people that are in chat right now. They want to see what's going on in chat.
Yeah.
And so, another option I guess we could do is put it bigger, off to one side of us.
Yeah, I just started messing around and I accidentally did resize it. So I think that might have messed it up from how I originally had it.
Okay.
So yeah, next time I'll adjust that for next week's show and try to make that so it's not as blurry.
Back of the field, any news on the playseat motion simulation? Then I had another from Sean Sabron asking if I'm still using the motion platform, the next level. No news on the playseat motion platform, and that's over a year and a half or so ago. Last I saw it at E3. Have not heard from them. And then to answer your questions, Sean, yeah, we're still using it. We still got it hooked up. Haven't really done much driving in it in the last week or so because I have not connected it to my full chassis, and I point that way because my rig's over there, John's is over there. So, one of these days we're gonna do. I was thinking about having running a second camera and doing a studio shot, so people can see what the studio looks like. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full rigs set up that are fully drivable. Well, that one's not drivable. We don't have a wheel, but that would take 15 minutes and it'd be drivable. But yeah, we have 5 chassis set up that are race ready. Black or chrome bars, Darin? Black. That's Alan Beaton.
Yep.
Motorcycle. I prefer black.
I had a question from a while ago from Mac Racer 49 who asked, question, sell T500 RS base to get TX for Xbox One compatibility? I mean, I think so. If you really want the Xbox compatibility, then the TX is the best of both worlds. So
Yeah.
PC and Xbox.
Yep, I agree. Well, the G920 would be too, but the G920 Wait, what was it? I'm sorry.
He has a T500. He wants to know. He's debating whether or not to sell a T500 so he can go buy a TX.
Oh. TX, I mean, it's a brushless motor, so it's definitely advanced a little further than the T500s. T500 is still a great wheel, but it's just not as smooth, not as quick turning as the TX or the T300. So I'd say go for it. I thought there was another. Go ahead.
I got one. Kai Murray asked, when is the GT Omega art review coming? # soon.
Soon. Yeah,
that's my answer.
We were given the green light to review that. They were waiting on getting stock here in the U.S. Actually, I had a question pop up in private. Someone asking me, should they get a GT Omega Pro from the new U.S. shop that's offering free shipping versus getting an Obuto that was going to charge him $200 for shipping. So I'd say get the Pro on that note. And so yeah, if you're here in North America, GT Omega's got a U.S. shop. I think it's US or USA.GTOmega. They may even have a link from if you go to gtomegaracing.com, but they now have free shipping in the U.S. and they don't have stock of the Pro yet, but they're getting it.
Yes.
You pulling that up?
I'm trying to verify.
Actually, let me do some live browsing here. Hold on.
Okay. Well, while you live browse, let's see. Had a question that popped up, and I'm missing it now. Viesters asked, do you guys play Live for Speed? I have never played Live for Speed. Have you ever played Live for Speed?
Yeah, you tried it. Did you try it briefly?
That's right. I was sorry. Every time I hear Live for Speed, is such a kind of like a, because of the graphics and name of it, I always think of
Need
like
for Speed.
Yeah, I always think of Need for Speed and the Crash game. So yes.
Ooh, I just knocked down our chat. There it is.
Oh man. So yeah, I've done a little bit with it. Darin has a lot more experience with it himself.
Yes, I do. I enjoyed Live for Speed a lot. I wish they would have. I wish they would have updated it more. And I can't forget the live browsing. I'll be stuck there for an hour. Just didn't work. Sorry, guys. No. Yeah, it would have been great. They haven't updated it since 2008. It's great title, great physics, force feedback, solid. Felt great, and it felt great in the next level motion platform. It's just a shame they haven't done anything like substantial with it since 2008.
Yep.
So.
Popping stuff up. Let's see. Psycho Baldy asks, John, did you have to do a lot of wheel tuning or setting adjustments in Raceroom? Because I'm still working on mine. Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago when I had, I think it was the 599 piece review I did with I had the single BenQ monitor mounted. Spent a good amount of time with Raceroom, and yeah, it did require some tweaking, and maybe at some point I'll go in there and look and see where I'm at and share those settings with you guys. And I still kind of want to do a little more playing with it myself. But yeah, it did take a little bit of adjustments to get that dialed in.
Body Adele, you are an amazing channel. Thank you for that. But it will be better if you less the speech with each other. Well, this is a talk show. So, I mean, that's kind of what this show is all about. If you want less talking amongst us, watch any one of our other shows. This weekly show is specifically like a talk show.
Yep.
We've kind of turned it into that, which is, we're enjoying it, and most people are enjoying it. We had over 200 viewers again, by the way, today.
Did we?
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I hadn't had the video.
202 watching right now.
Man.
People don't like me talking about how many views we're getting, but we're excited about it because honestly, that IndyCar race
had 200 views.
Yeah, we matched that when it was posted at IndyCar.com.
Yeah.
So we matched that IndyCar race.
So always the odd thing we talk about. You know, there's a lot of different races being broadcast out there, but viewership's always kind of. And that's actually I wanted to pose that question. How many of you guys watch sim racing broadcasts? Watch it live or watch it later on demand? Because I'm curious, because there's a lot of broadcasters out there now, but you know, like I said, when I jump into some of these live broadcasts, there's normally like sometimes there's not a lot of people watching at all. So kind of curious if that's something that you guys enjoy watching, or if you just rather be out driving yourself?
Yeah, and we're definitely curious about that. We talk about that behind the scenes. Talk away, but maybe not baseball.
Yeah, we did get down a long tangent there.
Yeah. Darin, you should compare between Dirt Rally and Richard Burns Rally. I will really quick, and Richard Burns is just a lot deeper. There's just a lot more to drive, more stages and more cars because it's been around for so long and modded so much. But now it's starting to get a little long in the tooth because graphics are dated. I mean, it originated in 2004. I know they've done updates to it, but I gotta say, Dirt Rally's starting to take its place as being the rally title to go for. So why don't we take one more question and wrap it up?
I have one from Richard Ertz here who asks, is the Thrustmaster T150 worth the money for a budget sim racer? Now, I assume we'll be having our review coming out soon.
T150?
T150. But yeah, from our first drive that you can watch, or maybe you have watched, very positive first impression. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. I mean, driving wise, I was really happy with the wheel. You know, but then can you get over, you know, cosmetically what it looks like? You know, cosmetically it's not, you know, the flashiest wheel. Mm-hmm. But
and the rim's got a lot of plastic.
Got a lot of plastic. And
I drove it this last week, and one of the rigs that we've got set up is in Gran Turismo 6. We talked about the track maker or track path maker. So I drove the T150 on my version of Riverside International Raceway, and it feels great. I mean, it's a good budget entry-level wheel.
Yeah.
And even I'm driving the stock pedals, which aren't the greatest, but you could mod them with that mod that I did, that Ashasha from our forums shared with us. So, so one thing I'd like to say really quick is, before we go, a couple things actually. Went back to 1080p, and that seemed to work okay. Didn't seem like we were getting any stuttering this week.
Nope.
Also like to hear your thoughts on us alternating time slots. So we do this time slot one week and the later time slot another week. And this time slot can get a little tough for us because we're scrambling a little more than we do at the earlier time slot or the later time slot, which is probably why you guys were listening to music at the top of the show, which still we got to figure out what the heck was going on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, curious what you guys think about that. We're considering alternating, so we do more of a North American time slot one week and European time slot the other week, and alternating. So I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Put them in the chat room before we go. We'll check them out. Anything else before we go?
No, I mean, I'm patiently watching chat to see if it updates for my my question to come back around. But
oh, you're watching sim racing
my watching sim racing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious what people think about that. Maybe they don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's I feel like some people might care a lot and other people not so much.
Yep. So thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. Visit us at our website, isrtv.com, and like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us here on YouTube if you haven't yet. We're coming up on 100,000 subscribers. Your help would be greatly appreciated to push us over that milestone. We're really looking forward to getting there. We should get there within the next month or so.
I think so.
So for John Sable, I'm Darin Ganji. Thanks for watching This Week Inside Sim Racing. We'll see you guys next time.